Welcome back to NTV News First Edition. There's a good chance that you live with a furry or maybe feathery friend or scaly friend. In fact, approximately 67% of households report having at least one, maybe more, pets. We're all aware that our pets are likely to have a much shorter lifespan than we, and that we are likely to experience their passing, their death. So why is the loss of a pet so difficult? Well, here to discuss with this week's Get Psyched is Dr. Janine Hubbard. Dr. Hubbard, I think everyone watching this evening can remember when a pet or maybe multiple pets have died. Why is the loss of a pet so difficult, so challenging for us?
Well, and it's interesting because it's one that resonates in such a different way. We've all had some little tears happening here amongst the newsroom for like long ago loss of pets. I think it's important to validate it is a loss. What happens afterwards is grief. It is mourning, but unless you're a pet person and you've gone through it and you've had that level of intense attachment, there are a lot of people who are very quick to dismiss it, who or will minimize it and kind of go, well, you know, it's not like you lost a spouse or something. Well, guess what? For a lot of people, that source of companionship, that loss can be as powerful for some individuals. And so I really want to validate that those feelings are legitimate, and you want to surround yourself by people who, you know, get it. That's my best way of describing that piece, because it is often for kids, it's the first death experience they've had. So trying to, you know, come to terms with it. But pets structure our daily routines. They get us out for those walks. They get us into different social interactions that we might not have otherwise. You go down to the dog park and you socialize with people while the dogs are playing. It's amazing. I lived in an apartment building one time, and I didn't know most of my neighbors until I had a dog. And suddenly I had a whole new social network. So those are such extremely important things. The other thing is, just in terms of the act, if it happens to be a pet this is appropriate for, of petting, of cuddling, of brushing, that physical contact actually releases oxytocin, which is our feel-good hormone. It helps to reduce our stress. It helps to promote feelings of well-being. So suddenly not having that in your life on a daily basis can be a huge and abrupt change.
I know a few years ago, my cat Xena Warrior Pussycat was her name, named after, of course, the TV show. Yeah. She passed away. She was 22, so she'd been in my life for like nearly half of my life. And what struck me was not that I would be upset. Of course I was going to be upset, but how upset I was. Like, it was even surprising to me that I was that emotional. I think I ugly cried for a few days or more when Xena passed away. So why do we ourselves, when we experience this loss, why are we so surprised with how much it affects us?
Well, because again, we tend to minimize, and some of that's a self-protective factor. Otherwise, we wouldn't get another pet. But keep in mind, listen, 22 years, that's longer than many marriages. That's longer than many relationships people have. Obviously, it's different, but it is still a relationship. It is still a connection. And I'll be honest, that's one of the very few unconditional supportive relationships, again, depending on how social your cat is, that you're likely to have in this life. So, we have for a long time bought into the, oh no, we don't talk about it, we get past it. Just get another one. No. What we do know though is it is a grief process, so we expect a lot of acute reactions, and then as time goes on, figuring out some symbolic things you can do, whether it's making a donation, whether it's maybe taking, you know, unused food or things that can be useful to a local shelter. It can be planting a tree or something in your pet's memory, something to help you kind of with that little bit of closure, but also knowing that they're always going to stay with a very special piece in our hearts, and we're never going to forget them. You may have other pets when you're ready, and again, you are the one who will know when you're ready. But also remember, there are, you know, a small subsection of people for whom, especially seniors, who that is often their only source of regular companionship and somebody to talk to, that it can present as more complex grief, and remembering that there is support out there, and there are groups that will support you and not, minimize that concern. So if that's something that you're really feeling is going beyond the, yes, I miss my pet, I have wonderful memories of them, but to something further, know that there are some really great organizations out there and online groups and resources that can help you out.
All right. Well, Dr. Janine Hubbard, thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
And this is, there it is, a live shot of the harbor.